Hey there, man. Well, glad to be back.
So it's another tier list. This time around, we got the ever so pull like the probably one of the greatest franchises of all time. Uh, Hit and misses here and there, but still in our hearts. We're talking what? What are we talking, Chase?
We're talking Star Wars.
We're talking Star
Galaxy far,
Wars.
far away. And I like to
How's
say one of the best properties ever, but very questionable on its movies. And we'll,
and that's exactly what we're going to discuss. So before we discuss what is the tier, real quick, we do have a link in the chat. So in that link is the tier list that we are doing. So you could click on that link and you could actually create your own tier list and see if you're right in the same kind of like same process as us, where you think where some movies should be ranked. So go ahead and explain the ranking, Chase.
all right, yeah, we always try to keep it really simple. So we're starting off with S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. Simply
Mhm.
goes S is the absolute best, the masterpieces, the greatest of the greats. And as you go down, it just gets worse and worse. A is still like really good. B is just on average. C is not that great, maybe but not terrible. D is just trash. So keeping it nice and simple. Top to top is the best. Bottom is the worst.
Exactly. So yeah, we're let's so everybody click on that link, take a look at our choices here. We're talking original trilogy, we're talking Disney trilogy, we're talking some the Disney spin-offs, we're talking like Solo, a Han Solo movie, Rogue One. So let if you guys are there, let's get started. I'm very excited. It's been a while since we talked Star Wars. And yeah, Chase, how about you lead it off, man?
All right. Do we want to go in order or do you want to just kind of go randomized? What do you feel like?
Oh,
Keep
random,
going.
man. Always
Okay,
random.
random. Always random. Always random. I'm gonna kind of close my eyes and just pick one. Let's see if I got it. All right. Ooh, I landed. All right, I landed around Solo.
You
That's a
solo
weird
in
one.
Star
It's a
Wars.
weird
Okay, we're
one.
starting.
It's a weird one to
Okay,
start off with, but we got Solo first.
okay. What do you think about that film, man?
Very forgettable. I didn't hate it. Like, it went into it like a lot of people. I had questioned the entirety of the film and why it was being made. For the most part, like, why do we need a Han Solo's backstory with the new actors? Han Solo was kind of just my thing. Like, I just didn't feel the need for it as
Mm-hmm.
much as we all love and adore Han Solo. And you know, watched it. I wasn't like disappointed with it, but I also just didn't have that high expectations. I didn't hate it. There's some kind of cool moments, some little things here and there that I liked, but overall, to me, it's very forgettable. So I'm already clear. Like, I'm putting it as C.
I totally agree with you, man. C is where I would put it because
Yeah.
I was the biggest guy who did said, "Why are they making a Han Solo movie? It makes no sense. We don't need any more of this character. You're never gonna capture the same magic because Harrison Ford is older, and it's taking place, in his younger years. Didn't need it. Don't need it. A lot of production, like a lot of firings of the Miller brothers. Kathlyn Kennedy, fingerprints all over it. Ron Howard
Yeah.
tried the best he can with it. The stupid ass cameo at the end with Darth Maul. After watching, after watching Rebels and seeing that story just kind of end, and then him popping up in Solo the movie. Even as much as I thought this made was the biggest mistake, and it was because it failed box office wise,
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I actually had fun with it. It was a good popcorn flick. The Kessel Run was pretty fun. Some of the action sequences were pretty good. The guy who played Solo, he did a decent job. I hated the robot. Couldn't
Hated the
stand the damn
worst
robot.
robot in all of Star Wars. Hey, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate it.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it. It's very forgettable. I never went back to it. I think I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would rank it at C. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Like we could talk the Ewok movies if you want to go worst movies you ever
I
seen.
never seen those, and I don't plan on it.
But I'll go C on this one. I agree with you. C is where I'd put it.
Yeah. I did see some tier lists for Star Wars movies that include the holiday special that they did.
Oh, the holiday
Yeah.
special. I've seen bits and parts of that.
I've seen, yeah, me too. It's weird. It's really trippy.
Okay, so I don't think there's not too much to talk about this Solo.
Solo.
Yeah, it's just
No.
it's a movie.
Charles
It's
Gambino was in it. That's cool.
yeah, Donald Glover. He did a
Donald
good job
Glover,
as
yeah.
Lando, I thought.
Yeah, he was
That
solid.
they had some good chemistry there. I think
Yeah.
Daenerys Amelia Clark did a pretty good job
Oh, I
too.
totally forgot she was in that.
Yeah, she was in
Totally
there.
forgot. Yeah.
Even though the train sequence is really dumb, it makes no sense because it's a Star Wars film, and why would they ever need a train to transport shit?
That's true.
It was pretty entertaining on that part. So,
Yeah.
all right, we ready to move
You're
on
up
from
next.
there?
Yeah.
That was a quick one, but
Yeah.
it's a block.
We
kind
know
of
we'll have a
movie.
lot to say with the Disney trilogy. We know when those come
Yeah.
out. Know we're gonna have a lot. Those are gonna take up a lot of time.
This is we'll say that Solo was definitely that was the movie that shook Disney and Kathleen Kennedy for sure.
Yeah, it's
Because
true.
it wasn't a success. A lot of that movie came out after The Last Jedi, and then Last Jedi was super split
Yeah.
on a lot of the community. So seeing Solo and how much it bombed, Solo is important for the fact that this was kind of like the downfall of Disney. That was the
Yeah.
first step, even though it wasn't that bad of a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on, and I'm going to pick. All right, so since we'll stick with the Disney property for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay. Yeah, the first one they did.
The first one they did, the first one that J.J. Abrams took over. This was another. It's crazy because we had the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi ended, and then years passed, and then we got the Phantom Menace. I think in 1999, it was a new Star Wars movie. Everybody was hyped, and then that one was a letdown. A lot of people thought the prequels were a letdown, even though the new generation I think appreciated it more. And then we wait. I think 10 years after that, might have been 10 years. I can't remember. And then we get The Force Awakens, was another new Star Wars film, but yet new, but the same because they were bringing back the original trilogy characters with Han, Luke, and Leia. It was a big deal. I mean, people were losing their minds. Or like we're getting when George Lucas sold the rights to Disney to Bob Iger, and us getting a new trilogy. I think people, just like back in the day with the Phantom Menace, were hyped, so hyped. So, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Even though you got to think of it differently at the time when it first dropped, I don't necessarily think of it too differently because when it dropped, and even I feel the same today, I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. I really liked the movie, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm serious when I saw the first. It was a midnight showing too. I saw a showing the day it came out. I went to Santa Barbara with my friend, my cousin. I kid you not. After we got out of that theater and we're sitting in the car and we're discussing the movie, I said I really, really liked it, but I didn't love it. It was too much of a rehash of the first Star Wars film, destroying another Death Star. Han Solo's death was kind of iffy to me. Like, I kind of liked it, but I kind of didn't. I really loved the new characters, Rey, Finn, Poe with little he had in that film. I really disliked the dogfights in the film. There wasn't enough aerial battles for me. I do like this. I do like the idea of like a stormtrooper, being getting away from the Empire. Being how AWOL in it.
Yeah.
I like the sense of like, does he have, is he one with the Force? Does he have Force powers or he doesn't? I really love the chemistry between Rey and Finn. I thought it was fantastic. I like BB-8. I didn't think I was gonna like BB-8 because that's my dog R2D2. You're never gonna mess with my dog R2D2, but BB-8 was pretty dope. I love using the effects in it, but then also using the practical effects. There was a lot to like in this movie. This movie, I understood why they played it safe. I even like, the Kylo Ren. I understand why they played it safe because I thought we were going to get something different and more better in the sequel, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, as even I feel the same way today, I think it's a still well it's a movie that you could still enjoy even though you know what happens afterwards because you're watching this movie and you're like, what if, the potential was right there. And I think they missed that potential, but they set it up they set it up really good, but they just didn't slam dunk it. They missed the alley oop. I'm gonna give this I'm gonna put it at B.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it at B because I did really enjoy it and I watched it multiple times. And it gave me my favorite line out of all the Star Wars films. We'll just use the Force. We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works. Like perfect line delivery, and also grumpy ass Harrison Ford, sleepwalking Harrison Ford. He hates Star Wars. He hates Han Solo as a character. He loves Indiana Jones, and he's just a grumpy ass old man. It's okay. He's old. But in that movie, he was Han Solo. He did his work. He did what he needed to do to get back in that role. He gave us Han Solo for the final time, and I really appreciate that from Harrison Ford because he didn't have to. He could be like Bruce Willis and come for a paycheck. Yeah,
it's partly for the paycheck.
Yeah, but he didn't have to. He could have just been Harrison Ford and be difficult and all that stuff. But he came in and he said, this is the fucking final time I'm going to do this, so do it right, So kudos to Harrison for at least, yes, it's the paycheck. He's said it in many interviews. It's the paycheck. But he did a great job of making me feel like it was Han Solo again.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my guy in my chat right now. He said it good. To me, it's a solid A. It had its issues, but man, like I got super excited for the series. Like when it came out, everything about it I kind of really liked. The issue with it overall is the fact that it does copy A New Hope a lot. Like what it does is very rehashed. I think that was an obvious thing when watching it. But I love the feel of the movie. I liked the look of it, the style. I was excited for that to move forward into the series. I liked because I always felt like the original trilogy was kind of old school. It was old and just didn't have the technology to do this kind of cool effects and stuff like that. And then you had the prequels, which I think took some of its effects and went a little bit far with them, and it was kind of weird. And I'm gonna just read my chat real quick. Yeah, no, for sure it's a copy paste, but it's a good copy paste. And that so overall, like I love the style of the movie because you had the old movies which didn't have that much effects and stuff like that. You had the prequels, which I think took the effects a little bit too far at times and went too like crazy with it. And I think Disney got this perfect balance of kind of that old school like desert feel, or like when you go to these planets, it's kind of open and like you have planets, you have like a big like desert planets, you have these, instead of doing these big overall cities and stuff like that. I liked a lot of sorry, I'm getting my things confused. What The Force Awakens brought, and I fell in love with Rey. I fell in love with Finn. I didn't love Poe. I didn't like Poe until later on in the series. I did like Kylo Ren. Again, he felt copy cutter a little bit more in that movie. He got a little bit better in the other movies, but I still liked him overall. And I liked what was going to happen. And even though I have my own opinions on what happens with the 8th and 9th movie, and it didn't go the direction I thought or really wanted it to go from what this movie brought us, I still enjoy this movie, and the other movies don't really affect how I enjoy this movie.
I did love the mystery of it too. So like coming out of the theater, you had it's kind of like WandaVision, right? Like you wanted to know what the mystery was. You wanted to know why Rey was sent to this planet. You speculated maybe she's, Han Solo's daughter, Leia's daughter, maybe she's Luke's daughter, the obvious questions. So I did like the mystery of it going into the second movie of that trilogy. What I really love though, And I would actually, it's up there. It's top five at least. The lightsaber battle between Rey and Kylo Ren, even Finn and Kylo Ren, because Finn is not he's not. I mean,
Yeah.
Rey is too OP. I do agree. She's like kind of a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
She defeated a Sith. I guess you could call him a Sith Lord who's been training nonstop. And then you had the question about Snoke, right? That's what a lot of people want to know about Snoke. But the lightsaber battle at the end of that movie was fantastic. I love how the trees were being cut down, the snowing planets. It wasn't just jumping around like maybe a little bit like the Phantom Menace. It was
Yes.
really grounded too. I think that was one of the best lightsaber fights I've ever seen in all these movies. I just felt like they had a balance of everything. The music by John Williams. Here's the thing. It could be any Star Wars property. John Williams is going to knock it out of the park with the soundtrack. So of course he knocked it out of the park. I mean, I wish he would have had a little maybe different themes, different kind of, just a little bit something different with the new trilogy, but it still worked and he still did a masterful job. The lightsaber battle, though, to me, hands down, that's the one thing I remember of The Force Awakens that I was like, shit, that was a fantastic lightsaber battle. But shit, man, I wish I had more better aerial battles. The aerial battles was so behind secondary. I was really disappointed in that. And I remember Guardians of the Galaxy happened after that, I believe. And I was like, yeah, it did. Because I was like, dude, Guardians of the Galaxy has one of the best aerial fight scenes at the end of that movie than an actual Star Wars movie. And then also the scene where Finn goes against one of the stormtroopers with the kind of like the axe. That was pretty dope.
Yeah. The guy in my chat says that he thinks they should not have unmasked Kylo and not made it known that he was Leia and Han's son. Do you think that would have been something you would have wanted to see? Like he kind of wishes it was more of a secret for longer.
Yeah, that would absolutely would have been better, because think of it like when Snoke goes, "Your father, Han Solo." My crowd was like, "Yeah, we already knew that." Like we didn't. Yeah. There was no shock on that. There was It's the same as like Rey being revealed as a Palpatine. Nothing. There was nothing for us to like say, okay, like that's, oh my god. Yeah. I hate when they try to do the Luke, I am your father, and with a twist.
They've been trying to do that again and again.
It's lightning in a bottle. Yeah. Think of something else. You could have done the secret with Kylo Ren, or you could have done. I think they already taken so much from the expanded universe of Star Wars, or the now it's called Legends, with the books. Why not have Rey and Kylo be brother and sister, and they were separated? If we would have knew that from the beginning of the movie, think of all the weight when they first come together, when they're opposites of each other. Like that's like saying Luke and Leia, if they were against each other. You could build something like that. So yes, I do agree. If you're not going to go that other route, then yeah, you should have kept it a secret. You should have kept them, or because they only did that because they wanted him and Han to have that moment on the bridge. And I've always said, the one thing after going out after watching The Force Awakens, I always said that they made a mistake by killing Han in the first movie. They should have killed him off in the second movie.
Remember you telling me that?
Yes, because one, the one disappointment I had after watching the movie, because they reveal Luke at the end, right? Rey finds Luke at the planet or whatever, the island. Now you don't ever. Han is dead at that point, so you will never get the original crew together, reunited. The biggest freaking disappointment. You're not going to get a Luke and old man Han scene. Luke, Leia, Han, older scene. That's it. You'll never get that. It's done. It's never going to happen. Unfortunately, Carrie Fisher passed. You're never going to get that. And as a fan of like the original trilogy, and why we went into this too, hoping they would do respect with these characters, that's now thrown out the window. So I would have done anything. I would have told Han, or I would have told Harrison Ford, I'm going to give you buttload of money because Disney has it, and I would have absolutely said, listen, if you stay on for 2 movies, at least 2 movies, and maybe a cameo at the third movie, we will give you maybe a percentage of the Indiana Jones films that they're going to do, or promise him that we're going to officially make at least 2 Indiana Jones films.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars and Han is a big deal. It's an absolutely big deal. So you keep them on for 2 movies. But that didn't happen. Han died. So I think absolutely and you could have went that route to keep it a secret with Kylo until the second movie, but they didn't because they had to have that scene in this movie, in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on it, at least. Chase is lagging a little bit. Up and down for Chase, up and down. But no, yes, The Force Awakens. What did I put Force Awakens? What did I put for Force Awakens? I put
Damn it.
Force Awakens. I put at B. So I put Force Awakens at B, and you're saying A.
Yeah, I'm saying A.
Okay, I could agree with that too. I know a lot of people did enjoy that movie.
So we're having
Technical
I'm having some technical issues. The Wi-Fi is trying to take a crapper on me again.
That's like saying, yeah.
Let me see if I can think. I'm going to maybe stop.
Yeah, I'm on Restream. So bear with us, guys. Got a little technical difficulties right now. Chase is watching stuff he's not supposed to watch. Let's see. And there he goes. Well, while he is fixing his technical issues, I believe I'm still good here. Yeah, so The Force Awakens, absolutely, Star Wars, when The Force Awakens happened, is absolutely, people were going bananas. I still remember, I believe in WonderCon, did they drop the trailer? I think they dropped the trailer at WonderCon, and it was it was crazy. It was nuts. J.J. Abrams was there. I think they were in the main hall where they talk about the films and stuff. So there's a lot of art, not fan art. There's a lot of like artwork for before the movie ever, they do presentations on artwork where the film might be headed to. So there's a lot of things I think ideas that they were going to do for The Force Awakens, but never, reached the final floor, and they end up going the route that they did. I do think J.J. Abrams handled it really well on the first film, The Force Awakens. We all know he came back and he helmed the Rise of Skywalker. I don't think that was his. I honestly don't want to put too much blame on JJ, even though he was kind of a child, and we'll get to the Rise of Skywalker and why I thought him, even say what you say about the Last Jedi, you still need to there's no plan. There's absolutely no plan over there. He admitted there was no plan. So that was the problem with the Disney trilogy. But JJ coming in for at least The Force Awakens and starting it, I think he did a great job. It's just, when you're not on the same page and you guys don't have an arc, this is why Marvel has been succeeding, even though they have the same formula. It's, it falls apart. And I think, but with the first step, JJ did a good job. His visuals are great. We know that he doesn't he kind of rehashes a lot of stuff. We've seen that in Star Trek. We've seen that in a lot. We've seen that he did that one movie, Super 8, I believe, which is basically all Steven Spielberg's kind of stuff. So, yeah. So JJ, first time around, I don't think it was fault. I don't even think it's too much. You can't blame him too much of the whole trilogy aspect of it, because that's the studio head's job. That's Kathlyn Kennedy. That's the people at Disney. That's Bob Iger, to have a plan and to put their foot down, knowing that you can't just do if you're going to do a trilogy like this, you can't just have a director come in and just really put his own spin into it because it's a trilogy and you got to treat it with respect. So absolutely devastating that first Chewbacca didn't hug Leia. You know, Leia hugged Rey. So I'm absolutely disappointed on that part. How are we doing?
I think we might be back. I'm starting up my stream again. Nope, I'm gonna.
No, you're still green.
It went down to 2. But I'm gonna maybe I'll keep off my stream here for a minute. See if we can just keep it on your stream.
Okay, so you think it's lagging because you have multiple streams going on?
Maybe. So I'm gonna keep So I'm gonna.
I mean, it was working before.
It's worked before. I don't know what's going on. Why the Wi-Fi is just starting to struggle right now, but seems to be working.
Go ahead.
A little bit better.
You can go ahead and if you still have that chat on Twitch, just post the link to my channel.
Yeah.
So they could follow along.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone that's watching already. Let me just fix some things.
Yeah. So, I mean, where did you watch The Force Awakens at, Chase? Did you watch it opening?
I watched it. No, I watched it 2 or 3 days after it opens. I forget why, but I had to wait. I had to wait like 2 or 3 days. I still had a big crowd, though. It was still a big crowd.
It was a massive. It was definitely a massive hit. It was a big time deal.
Yeah.
I actually had to work at the movie theater with The Force Awakens. It was nuts.
Really? I had to work for Last Jedi. That was the only one I had to work for because, it was The Last Jedi. I was the only one. No, did I work? Yeah, I started working until after.
If everybody doesn't know, I used to work at a movie theater, so it was fun. It's a high school job, though. So eventually, you got to get out of there. Good popcorn.
Yeah, God, love the popcorn. Great high school job.
Do you want me to pick the next movie and then you pick the next 2?
Yeah, let's do that because
Yeah, go ahead and put the link down below on the Twitch if they want to follow. And remember, guys, if anybody's watching, we do have a link for the tier that we're using in the chat box. So go ahead and push on that link, and you could follow along, or you could make your own tier list and see if we're like on the right. If we have both similar ideas of where these movies should be ranked. Okay, so we talked The Force Awakens. And you know what? Let's go back to back. Because you can't talk Force Awakens without talking The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Let's just get it out of the way. Well, let's get it out of the way.
So The Last Jedi. Chase, how did you feel about this film directed by Rian Johnson?
God, I remember watching it and just fucking out of it. Just because at that moment, I think like walking into that movie, walking down that aisle, getting to my seat, having my popcorn and soda in hand, such excitement because I loved Force Awakens. What it's bringing, and I wanted to see it continue. See what they build off of, and then Rogue One had come out the year before. So for Disney, I thought they were hitting home run after home run. So I was just I at that moment I was gonna screw this up and been like, nah, Disney ain't gonna screw this up. They seem to know what the hell they're doing. And I just remember walking out so defeated because man, it was a mess. It felt like a straight kick to the face, and you can tell right there it was completely than what they were going for in the movie President, and it just didn't work for me. It like disliked the characters more. Like each one of the characters that I loved in the last one, I loved as more. It made me think they don't know what the hell they're doing with this property. Luke Skywalker, I think, ruined, and like Mark Hamill had a right to be pissed over what they did with his character.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the worst of it all is that Rose. It is the Rose and the storyline. That to me is the lowest moment of the Star Wars ever. It's just that whole storyline of Rose and Finn
Rose
going
was the
off.
Jar Jar Binks of that film.
Yeah, and you know what? Jar Jar, I'd probably enjoy
Jar Jar more.
Because golly, I mean, the actress deserved the hate. She got so
No, no.
That shit
Let's
was
put that
so
out there for
savage,
sure.
man. What they did with her.
I think it's Maria Tran. She did voice
Yeah,
Raya from Raya the Last Dragon too, or Raya
yeah,
the. She's By all means, no disrespect to, like, not
not at
the
all her
actress
fault.
herself. It's not her
Yeah,
fault, but that was a fucking horrible character.
that was a horrible character, and it's just like, I don't know, man. The movie, like, I did like the look of it at first. Whenever I was going into it, like the style, like the art style of the poster and the trailer that I did, I was like, ooh, they seem to be going with like a darker route. I kind of like it. I want to see like a darker route by Star Wars, and but man, it really darker. It was just dumber. It's just really, like, it tried to go to like this darkness of Rey and her and weird scene with Rey and her parents, and like, I don't know, like, it was just dumb. Like, everything from the second Leia flew through space, stuff like that, I was just like, I think this movie's dumb, and I don't know, it was a waste of time. It made me know, like, at that moment, I was like, the third one's gonna be too. In my mind, right when I walked out of it, I said, third one's gonna be, because there's no way you can have a movie built off this one.
I can't even say the third one might be worse. Maybe. I saw this with my girlfriend, so we went to the movies. I was actually a little hesitant because I was like, I really, like you said, I really like the look of it, but I was like, what the fuck are we gonna get? You know, like, I'm very, like, intrigued of what's gonna happen. I'm optimistic, at least. We got out of that screening and we're in slow, so we're walking down, down to the parking lot. And this might have been the most baffling, confusing. I was so confused at the end of the movie, not because I didn't get it, because I was so confused. I'm like, what did I just watch? Did I literally just watch Luke Skywalker suck off a teat? Did I literally just watch Princess Leia float in space and go Mary Poppins, y'all? The main point I always tell people about this movie. So the what is it? What's the not the Empire? It's the Resistance, not the Resistance.
First Order.
First Order.
First Order. Yeah.
Yes, the First Order is basically the Empire, and then the Rebels are basically, or the Resistance are basically the Rebels. So the original trilogy ended all that, right? They ended all that.
Yeah.
Peace, new, everything new. There should be a new Jedi Order, this and that. That's what I was looking forward to see Luke and maybe a new, like, the Knights of Ren or something like that. So if the Resistance is doing the same exact thing as the Empire in the original trilogy, and the Resistance as the Rebels, and the First Order is doing the same thing as the Empire, what was the whole point of the original trilogy? What was the whole damn point if it was the same shit, right? So I came out of that movie, I'm like, dude, the Resistance are in the same position as the Empire at the end of this movie, and so is the Resistance as the Rebels. Like, it's the same shit. It's the same thing. Everybody's like, oh, it's new. They're doing something different. No, they're not. They literally did a lot of things that we've seen before. The most bizarre and terrible thing about this movie is not only Rose, but is the Canto Bite casino scene, which was like, I thought it was pulled out of the prequels. It was, the CGI was terrible there. The kids annoyed me. Rose annoyed me about freeing the animals. I'm like, what about the kids? And they're just gonna get those animals anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was the things I do like about it is I think the showdown with Luke was pretty cool at the end, except he died, so I was stupid. Hardly any training with Rey. I did like the Luke and Leia moment. That was oh, I'm thinking Rise. Never mind. No, that was the Last Jedi. I'm thinking Last Jedi.
It was Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. So Luke and Leia, the ending there. They really introduced that dice, which was weird. I did
You
like
know,
the planet with salt. I thought that looked pretty nice. Um, the holo maneuver when she sacrifices herself. I thought it was the wrong character to do it, but I thought that was a pretty nice, beautiful moment. It
Mhm.
looked visually, it looked stunning. Visually, this movie was stunning. It looked great. The music was on point. I would even say the pacing was pretty good until the Canto Bite scenes. The movie though was such a letdown. It ruined everything for me. With Luke Skywalker, guys, is like my favorite character. As I got older, maybe Han. Han kind of is like right there with him, but Luke is my favorite. When growing up, Luke has always been my favorite. He's the your typical somebody who is nobody becomes somebody, a boy becomes a man type
Mhm.
storyline. Because at the end of Jedi, he's just so wise. Like watch the Mandalorian season 2, the ending, the finale on that. That's the Luke. That's why people fucking cried because when they saw Luke come into that finale, because that's the Luke they wanted. That was the Luke we've all wanted. Still in his fucking black get up,
Mhm.
green lightsaber. And eventually, if they continue, if they don't retcon it, he's gonna become the Luke that we saw in the Last Jedi, who was isolated, gave up. How could Luke give up when he didn't even give up on the most villainous character of all time in Darth Vader, his father? The explanation of him and Kylo Ren's rift was so stupid. I hated it. I hated not even having a Jedi Order. I did like the scene with Yoda though. It's nice to see Yoda. I know a lot of people didn't like the puppet
Yeah.
Yoda, but I liked it. Um, the the death of Snoke. Yes,
So stupid.
I like the surprise, but I hated the execute. Like I just
Yeah.
we know nothing about Snoke. Why was he even there? This movie, I know a lot of people. There was a lot of people that liked it, and I was so confused. And I would ask them why. Why do you like this movie? Because I'm going to give you points on why I don't like this movie. People who, I don't know, man. This movie ruined it for me. This movie was the nail in the coffin when it came to like going into Rise of Skywalker, because I was like, I don't give a shit anymore because you already ruined
Yeah.
it. Luke is dead. Late, Carrie Fisher passed before Rise of Skywalker, and oh my god, what they did with the Rey, Finn, especially Finn, the character I was
Yeah.
most invested in, was shit. Their
Yeah.
whole
They did
storyline,
they ruined it. They
nothing.
had no idea what they were doing. They had no idea what they were trying to do with Finn. Now in Last Jedi, it's obvious. They put him on this mission with this character on a pointless side mission that did nothing. Did nothing. It was pointless.
Exactly.
I also did. If I remember correctly, I really hated Poe in this movie. Like Poe, I did not like.
Poe didn't really do anything.
But they were
Well, yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
make
kind
him
of.
do something.
Yeah.
He was kind of like he was like a red. There was a whole thing with that other resistance leader, and she was trying to get him like
Holo or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, like they were at odds with each other, and then she was teaching a lesson. I hated that.
Well, it's
Um,
the whole
I
wokeness. That was like a lot of the wokeness. That was where a lot of people were really kind of like showcasing, like putting their points across. Like, yeah, Disney's really making like men bad, women good. Why can't it
yeah,
be both? Why can't we? And
exactly.
then where's the more alien shit? Ian, you make a great point. Adam Driver carried the last 3 films. Kylo Ren wasn't even written that well, in my opinion, but his performance stood above the rest. Dude, Adam Driver, the
He
lines he was given, he did great. It could have felt so flat. Adam Driver did a fantastic job in those movies, even though I didn't necessarily care for Kylo Ren moving forward. But
sorry, that's one thing about this movie that I did like. I did like Kylo Ren as a villain, and that was That was mainly because of Adam Driver. If you've seen his other movies, this dude he's awesome.
great actor. If
And
you haven't seen Marriage Story on Netflix, Marriage Story is really
it
good.
tears me apart. I mean, but so like he's I agree that he like Kylo Ren maybe not, but Adam Driver did. Like his little turn. Like I liked him killing Snoke. Again, you're right. It's like kind of the execution of it. It was terrible. Like I liked him killing Snoke and becoming the main bad guy. At least for Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought he was the main bad guy. I was actually the one that, okay, I like him being the but you know, we all know what happens next. Palpatine comes back. I thought
yeah.
Villain. No guy behind him. He's the top dog. I like that. You know.
Yeah.
That was one of the few things that I left when I left that movie. I was like, okay, I'm not being bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a D.
It's an easy D.
Ian said The Last Jedi was awful. The casino scene, the milk drinking scene. The milk drinking scene is such a big meme. It's fucking a lot of big channel YouTubers always use that scene because it's fucking hilarious. Breaking the hyperdrive rule. Yes, they did break the rule with Holo doing the light speed or whatever and kamikaze in it. Yeah. I did love the visual in that scene though, but they did break the rule. And then making cool. Luke a coward was horrible. Absolutely agree. Like it didn't. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. Like if it made sense, I would be all on board with it. I'm okay with Luke failing, but I'm not okay with Luke not trying to for failing and just being a coward and going off, because that's not the Luke I know. If he failed, he would still try. Okay, Chase, go ahead and pick another movie because we can go on and on Last Jedi, and
we could.
I put my thoughts out there already.
Let's steer away then from that last Disney movie. Let's start off with New Hope. Let's go with what started it all.
Okay.
I want to go very original New Hope. Classic. I'm trying to remember a lot of it, but because I watched it, but it's still a lot of it sticks to my brain. It's just that it's the adventure, and I remember it was the first Star Wars movie I watched, even though I was a kid. The prequels were a thing, you know, but I was like, my sister is a big Star Wars. Started watching The New Hope and really feeling that sense of adventure, and I decided to follow Luke and see more. And it's old school, so at the time as a kid, I was like, these visuals are. As I grew up, to appreciate more and how much work they put into them. And it's the start of the adventure. I love it. It's not the Star Wars movies because it just doesn't have a ton of weight to it, but I do like. I don't know. I wanted to know more. I'm forgetting what I'm saying. You go forward right now.
Right. I would put it in S, the top of the top.
You go S.
So I rewatched it about like a year ago, and I never knew, but when the beginning of the movie, when R2 and C-3PO go in an escape pod and land on the planet, that's when we kind of start the movie. Luke and his uncle get them from the Jawas. It's a long process. It's a very long movie in the beginning. It's very slow, but it picks up when they go into the cantina and they meet Han. That's when it really starts going.
Yeah.
But the movie is history in the making. Nobody has ever seen this type of movie before when it got released. Godfather was #1 for like months. And this movie blew everybody away. Now you have the special edition, so you got to find it, the original print, so you can see the original effects, because George Lucas went back and just like redid everything because he loves CGI and shit.
Yeah.
This movie's fantastic though. This movie is a classic kind of Flash Gordon, old school kind of movie like that. It's a little bit of He-Man, since He-Man's out right now. It's a little bit of King Arthur. Like, I love it. I love the movie. I don't think it's the best out of the original trilogy, but it's damn near like it deserves its respect.
Yeah.
It introduces the characters we would all know and love. The chemistry, the point where George Lucas was. Remember, Harrison Ford wasn't supposed to be Han Solo. He was just there reading to the other actors, and then they're like, you know what, just get Harrison to do it because he's doing really well. There was at one point Kurt Russell might have done it, and that would have been a cool Han, but
No.
it just was fate, man. It was like fate. This movie was supposed to be made. You do not get the toys. You do not get the lightsabers. You don't get childhood memories. You don't get any of that without Star Wars. You don't get major blockbuster sci-fi movies. You probably will, but not like Star Wars. Star Wars is what has started it all. And it just and you don't get the trilogy. The trilogy is one of the best trilogies.
Yeah.
You don't get Star Wars. You don't get Star Wars without the first one. The first movie, what I love about the first movie is, yes, I love the movie, but I love the behind the scenes and the story about making the first movie. George Lucas almost died for you guys to make this movie. The doctor literally said, "You're so stressed out, you're going to have a heart attack. Like you're going to kill yourself making this." Cuz he was super, like, the first cut was awful and they recut it. Great shit, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a great backstory. It's like, to me, it's on the same level as Jaws. Steven Spielberg's Jaws. It's right there. It's the same. It's kind of a little bit not the same movie, but it's the same feeling that you get with the backstory of it and the actual finished product. So Star Wars to me is definitely S rank, bro. It's what started it all. And you know what? A lot of movies started off, but you look back and you're like, I don't know why everybody loved it. But you look back at Star Wars, you're like, yeah, I could see why everybody loved it.
You know, there's that where they first see the Star Wars movie, you know, and this is supposed to be a perspective of the 70s, you know. And
oh, Chase got cut off.
my back.
Please continue your story.
And in the episode of That 70s Show, Eric and them see Star Wars for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That episode just encapsulates how big of a deal it was to them back then, because these dudes are like absolutely amazed. I can only imagine what it would have been like in the 70s with the kind of movies and quality they had, to see something with such a unique story and premise be put together. And one thing I really about it felt like when watching it, that George Lucas had a plan overall for what he wanted this series to be. There was stuff in it from the past that you could think like, oh, the prequels, and then hints to what they were planning on doing in the future.
Yeah, he dropped Clone Wars. He dropped the Clone Wars on when Obi and Luke had that conversation. Obi-Wan was the one of the stars in the first movie, and then he was a Force ghost in the other. So it was great to see Obi-Wan in there in the first movie. And then you talk about old effects and stuff, dude. I think this movie was dropped in 1977. That's a long ass time. There was this. We were blown away by Jurassic Park, and that was what, in 93, and it still holds up. So it being an older movie and still holding up like that, man, what an accomplishment. Chase, I put it on S. I don't know where would you rank this?
I gotta go S too, because of the fact that it does, to me, like, I think it really like when watching it, I think is picturing like this is the beginning of this entire series that is one of the most beloved properties in the world. Made me like see exactly what he was for this. Everything, the entirety of the Star Wars is perfect.
Exactly,
So,
and super great lines in it too. Memorable lines. What's going on? We're just a little weapon malfunction. It's everything's okay. Everything's all right. How are you? What's your code number? Boo. Luke. Just boring conversation anyway. Yeah, it's great, that one, and then also the famous, use the Force, Luke. Trust your feelings, Luke. Like, it's so good, so good.
Yeah, great.
All right, go ahead and choose another one, man. I think the original Star Wars got enough praise.
Which one? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Which one?
You said? We can. Sorry, I'm still We're gonna go. Can you hear me still?
Back there.
Okay. Let's go to Attack of the Clones.
Oh, fucking really?
There. And I'd be
Oh,
honest.
you already know what I'm gonna say about this one. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's an easy one for me. I don't remember much of it, but I just remember being so fucking
bored. Yeah.
It is one of the most boring, not just Star Wars movies ever, dude. It is such a drag. It is so long. It's horrid in so many scenes. It is just in my opinion. It's one of the I can't decide.
When the Green Knight is more entertaining and more action packed than the fucking Bro, yeah. I hate this movie. I've said it thousands of times. Attack of the Clones is it's the worst Star Wars movie. It's worse than Rise of Skywalker. It's worse than The Last Jedi. Even though I'm gonna rank it in the same as D. Because it's so fucking boring. The acting is horrible. Hayden Christensen is horrible in this movie. Obi-Wan's hair always bothered me. I hate his hair in the movie. I hate the love. What drags this movie is the love story. We're supposed to feel like Padme and Anakin are just these two star-crossed lovers that, they were made for each other. No. It is horrible. It is so bad. The famous I hate sand scene alone. There's a reason why people make fun of that scene in this movie so much. It's a terrible movie. I don't like it. The clones don't save it. Jango Fett doesn't save it. Him being decapitated doesn't save it. And then also the lightsaber fight between Dooku and Obi and Anakin. I didn't think that was good. It's a very boring movie. It's a very terrible movie, honestly. Chase is on this one bar. I'm gonna kick him out real quick. See if I can get him back on there. But let me know what you guys think about Attack of the Clones, because Attack of the Clones is just fucking garbage to me. Chase, you still there, bud? No, he's out. Attack of the Clones is just fucking terrible.
It's trash.
Terrible. Like Chase's Wi-Fi. I'm losing you, Chase. I'm losing you.
It's terrible. Wi-Fi.
It's like your Wi-Fi. I think maybe it was. A lot of people don't know that Chase has a storm over there where he lives, so that might be the case as well. Because we never had the issue after the first stream we ever did. It's all been peachy. Ian, the only thing that really matters is we see Anakin start to turn evil when he kills. Okay, Ian, I will give you that. When I remember seeing the trailer for Attack of the Clones, and when it was a great trailer too, fantastic trailer, and fucking Anakin was on the little speeder bike, and then that was the scene where he does go to take out all the Tusken Raiders, and then he goes to Padme and says, "I killed them all, the women, the men, even the children." Like, yeah, that was that's a good scene. There's some good things about Attack of the Clones. The music, the love theme for the Anakin and Padme was really good. I don't want to hate on Hayden Christensen. I think he was terrible in the movies. But I think that has to do with a lot of George Lucas too. I think George Lucas is not he's known to not be an actor's director. He just goes in and says, just do it like this. He doesn't really get performances out of actors, like maybe like a Quentin Tarantino. So I think Hayden has the look of Anakin because we all have that in our brain. But I think I just think he's terrible in the movies, and that's not necessarily his fault, But I will say the Tusken Raider scene is really good. Yeah, that him converting to him showcasing him being evil, or that process of him being evil was really good.
We're still on.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. Yeah,
The Tusken Raider scene's really good. Ian pointed out the Tusken Raider scene was really good. Let's fucking move away from this. Let's keep going. Because I'm. It's a D, dude. It's a D. It's a boring ass movie.
Yeah.
You go D on that one. Can you hear me, Chase? Chase dog. Back to red. Poor Chase. How we doing, Chase? Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Yeah. D.
D it is. Okay. The Wi-Fi's just being stubborn today. We got 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6. Okay. So Chase's Wi-Fi is still acting up. There he goes again. Let's see. We still have 3, 4, 5, 6 films to cover. Let me see what's going on here. We're going to take a quick intermission. Actually, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Chase, can you hear me? Okay. So this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a plan here. So, okay, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it here. We're gonna keep our tier list going. So we already have our tier. We know which movies we put on there. We have 6 films left, and we're gonna come back to this tier list, and we're gonna talk the last 6 films on a later date.
Perfect.
So we'll stick. So to recap, I have we talked about Star Wars, the original series, which we have all the way at S rank, which is the best rank. I talked Force Awakens. I have it at B. I didn't think it was the greatest, but it was really well done. I believe Chase has it at A.
Yes, I do.
Solo, the Han Solo movie, I have it at C. Not the complete garbage that I thought it was going to be, so it was good. What did you have that at? C too as well.
I had it at C as well, yeah.
We both agree Star Wars The Last Jedi and Attack of the Clones are at D level. Just both of them had awful things that contributed to the series, but then there's some good stuff in there. So we have Rise of Skywalker, we have the Phantom Menace, the Revenge of the Sith, I believe, Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, and The Empire Strikes Back left, but we will cover those on a later date so we can get the technical difficulties out of the way.
Yeah. I will say I do show. Never mind. It
green
went back
right
down.
now.
It went back down.
You're down.
I don't know.
I have green on here. I wonder if it's just because you're canned. No, you're back down. Okay. Yeah. Well, to be announced.
We'll do another one because I can't trust this right now.
We'll come back. So I want to thank you guys for joining on this one. That's half of our movie, so we'll get done with the other half. So join us on that one. Keep your tier list saved, and we'll get on that. So thank you guys. You can go check Overdue Bobcat 50 at Twitch. You can check right here my channel, Danny Man Reviews. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video. We will see you guys next time. I will announce it. So see you guys.